So you're thinking about doing B2B on Shopify. Let me stop you right there. There's 5 essential things that you're gonna need to know before you go down this path, and I'm gonna tell them to you right now. All right, let's set the stage. The first thing you need to understand is that D2C, direct to consumer, and B2B, business to business, are different customers. The D2C, direct to consumer people, they're more transactional based. You present your value, you present your price, they click, they add their credit card, shipping, and they check out. Done. Very transactional. They're usually gone until they need something from you again, and then they'll come back. B2B is a lot different. You have a personal relationship with those customers. You have their phone number. You can call them up. You can arrange shipping. Generally, they're looking to purchase bigger quantities. So you're going to have a whole different approach when you're trying to get these people as customers. Now, regardless of which one you're doing, direct to consumer or B2B, these are all human beings, and human beings love a frictionless experience. I'm going to take the next 10 minutes and show you exactly how to set up a B2B website on Shopify. A few caveats. If you are looking for companies and price lists, so you sell to different companies for different discounts and different prices, and you want to present those different prices to those customers, you're going to want a whole different setup. You're going to want to go with Shopify Plus. Now, I have a community. If you go into community, expertbymonday.com/community, send me a DM. We can talk about that more in depth. But this video, this specific video that you've landed on, is how you set up a Shopify store on a basic Shopify plan with only a few apps to keep your cost really low. We're gonna be able to set this whole thing up in the next 10 minutes, and we're gonna do it for less than $100 a month. All right, let's jump into it. I'm gonna go over to my computer screen. All right, I'm on my screen here, and I have gone and set up a wholesale demo site for us to work from, okay? So let me log into it here. All right, very basic Shopify site. A couple things that I went and did. One, I set up a Shopify store. Set up a Shopify store, set it on a basic plan. If you want to do this on a trial, hit me up in my community. We'll get something set up for you so that you don't have to wait for that 14-day trial. Next, I install the theme. I use the trades theme. It's the most business-to-business theme that I can find, and it's free, so really easy to set up. Now, there's a couple things that we're going to need to do. We're going to need to add some apps to your store. So you're going to need 3 apps. The first app you're going to need is you're going to need Shopify Flow. Shopify Flow is free and allows you to automate processes when people are going through your workflow. Number 2, you're going to need Shopify Forms. This is what we're going to use for our application form when someone wants to become a wholesale customer. And then the third one, this is going to be a paid app. It's going to be Locksmith. And Locksmith allows us to lock down the store so that only approved people can go through the login and see prices that only wholesale people are allowed to see. All right, after you've installed those 3 apps, we're going to now configure them. So the first thing we need to do is we need to set up Shopify so that it is ready for a wholesale experience. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go into settings. So in order to block people out from not being able to see prices, you need to have customer accounts. So we're going to go and turn on customer accounts. And we do that under show login links. If yours is turned off, you want to turn it on and it'll show you customer accounts will show up below you. We're going to go with the recommended customer accounts that have a login ID. So you put in your email, it emails you a authentication code, and you plug that in. It's the easiest customer experience. If your customers prefer to have usernames and passwords, that's when you would go with a legacy account. Now that we've got our customer account set up, the next thing we need to do is we need to create a little bit of the infrastructure. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create a page. And now this page is going to be the placeholder that we're going to use for application form. Now I've already created one in here, but we're going to create a new one. We're going to call this application form. And this is where we're going to set up the flow so that when people want to apply to become wholesalers, they have a page to go to. All right, then the next thing we need to do is we need to go into forms, and we need to create our application form. So I click on forms. Great. All right, now we're on forms. Now we're going to go and create the form. Now I've already created a form to make this easier, but basically you can go and drag and drop in the form fields that you want so that when people are filling out the form, you can get the information that you need from them. Number one, you've got first name, then you've got phone, then you got email, then you got address. Pretty simple. The most important thing you want to do is after you finish creating the form, you want to grab this form ID. This form ID is going to be super important because this is how we pull this into the theme on the page that we already created. So let's do that. So now we're going to go over to online store. We're going to go to customize theme. We're going to go down to pages, and then we're going to go and create a new template. And we're going to go application form. And it's going to be based off of the default page. We're going to create that template, and then we're going to add a section. And we're going to go to apps, and then we're going to go to forms. Now in this form piece, we're going to need to add in our form ID. So now I can paste in my form ID, and that form that we created under Shopify form shows up underneath application forms. Now on this particular page, this theme doesn't have the way to change your headings, which is annoying. Custom CSS, we're going to go H1, display, none, because I don't want that thing on there. Okay, great. Cool. We have our form. We have our page set up. We're going to hit save. And now what we're going to do is we're now going to go secure the site. So what have we done so far? We've installed our apps. We've created our page and our landing page for our form to be filled out. Now what we need to do is we need to lock the site so that people who haven't yet applied or people who already have applied and have been approved can't access it. Can access it, sorry. So now we're going to go into Locksmith. Now you're in Locksmith. Okay. The first thing we need to do, let's remove this. These are locks that I had from my previous demo. All right, so the first lock we're going to add is we're going to add entire store. Add entire in store in here and hit start new lock. Okay, so we've created a lock. Now the entire store is locked down. We want to make a couple adjustments to this. First, we want to allow people to access the homepage, because if the whole store is locked down, then there is no way for someone to be able to get to the form that we've created for them to sign up for a wholesale account. It's all about making sure that all these things flow together. So allow access to the homepage. We're going to hit save there. The next thing we need to do is we need to add a key to get through the lock. And so we're going to go, if a customer is tagged with the tag wholesale. And what this is going to mean is when a customer comes to the site and it's locked down, if they're not signing up for a new store or they're not signing up for a new account, they can log in and they can access the store because they've been approved. All right. So we've now locked down the store and we've set it so that wholesale customers that are tagged with wholesale can log in, and we have allow access to the homepage. Now, because the whole store is locked down, there still isn't a way for someone to get to that application form. So we have to add that exception in here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to add a page. And then we're going to pick our application form, which we had before. We're going to go and create the lock. Once the lock is created, we're going to add a key. And the key is going to be this option down the bottom, which says always permit. We're going to say always permit. We're going to hit save. And now that page, that sign up application page, is something that anybody can now access. Rest of the store is locked off. You can only see the home page, and now you have the application page that you can go to. So now we got to kind of tie all the pieces together. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to online store, and we're going to go to customize. Because we only have access to the home page, what we want to do is we want to set the button to go to our application page. Now, what we'll notice here is I've gone in and I'm looking for, well, where's my application page? I can't seem to find it. It's not on this list. And that's because Shopify sets new pages as hidden by default. So if we go into pages here, we'll see application form is set to hidden. So what we want to do, move that over to visible, and now it's going to be able to be seen on the front end of the site. All right, we'll go back into themes. We'll go back to customize. We'll go back to our button. We'll hit our button. We'll go to pages, and we now see our application form showing up. Once we hit application form and hit save, we now have the theme updated. So now when people come to the site, if they don't have, so let's have a look at this now. I'm not logged in. If I come to the site, I can see the homepage. I can then click on catalog. And when I click on catalog, it says I can't see this content. I have to log in. That's great. If I click on sign up for a wholesale form, I click shop all and I get to my application form. And my application form should show my form here. Now, why is that not showing my application form? Let's go to customize. I have to assign the template. That was what I have to do. So if we go to pages, we go to application form, under template over here, we need to assign it to that new application form. Once we have done that, we can go back over here, we can refresh it. Sometimes it takes a minute. And we have our new sign up form. Okay, great. Let's test this thing. So we now have, let's go to temp mail. Let's get a disposable mail email address here. And while that's loading up, we're going to go and add in our name. We're going to go John Smithy, give it a number, put in a telephone number. See that? Perfect. Great. And we'll go disposable mail. We'll copy this email address. We'll put it in here. We'll say this is Main Street. We'll submit this. Okay, it's now been submitted. If we go over to our customers, we'll see John Smithy that we just added has been added to this, this site. And if we want to now approve John Smithy for access to the site, all we need to do is we need to add the tag wholesale. So wholesale gets added as a tag to this customer. Perfect. So now we can go back to our demo page and we still haven't logged in. Now I've been approved, I've been set up, and I want to go and log in. So I'm going to click on log in. Hold on a second, I gotta log out here. I'm gonna go log in. It's gonna take me, I'm gonna put my email address in here, which I have in my clipboard. I hit continue. I come back over to temp mail. I've got my access code that they emailed me. I can copy that access code, place that access code in here, hit submit. And now head over to shop. And if I go to catalog, I can now see the entire catalog because I'm logged in and I am authenticated. So when you're building a wholesale store, that was 10 minutes to get one set up. You still need to import the products. You still need to change your shipping. Part of this whole process is you're gonna have different shipping requirements for B2B people. You're also gonna have different taxes. You're gonna have different quantities that people will need to purchase. And so this is why for the number of years that I've been doing this, I've always recommended you set up a separate expansion store instead of just tacking on wholesale to your existing site, because you're gonna wanna make these changes. You're gonna wanna write different policies and procedures for your business to business customers. You're gonna wanna have a different database of your B2B people so that you can email them with different deals. You're gonna wanna have different pricing set up for them. All of these different pieces that come into running your online store are so important when you understand that D2C and B2C are fundamentally different customers, and therefore they require different Shopify stores. Now, one of the benefits of doing it this way, and especially if you have a different payment processor for your B2B, so maybe you're invoicing them, maybe they have credit on their account, you can go in and set up separate payment information for those specific customers. So you don't even have to collect credit cards. So if you're not collecting credit cards, you don't need Shopify payments, you don't need anything. So that keeps that cost $30 for locksmith, and then another $30 for the Shopify store, and you can run your entire B2B enterprise through a super simple, easy to manage Shopify expansion store. All right, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this brings you guys a little bit of success with your B2B store. If you have any questions around B2B, I've specialized in e-commerce for many, many years. Go to the community, expertbymonday.com/community, and enter in your name in there. Send me a DM, and we can talk about how we can make your B2B business profitable.